Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. um, I got this ring light that I am absolutely in love with, and I don't know why I had not got one of these before. Anyway, this is Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, and I got an interesting one for you tonight. Sorry. Hold on. I just had some, shouldn't have had some nuts right before the live, you know? So, I have a funny story to tell you, and then I'm going to give you a new concept, another way to look at something very common, okay? So I titled this, what did I title this? I titled this, have you ever been in a crowd and then you felt like the crowd left you? Now, you may immediately say, yes, I've been in a crowd where I felt that I did not belong there. That's not what I'm saying. This is not that. What I'm saying is that you're there, but you feel like the crowd is like spreading away from you. Not because you stink, right? It's just because they're just separating from you, right? So I'll give you a funny kind of story. I have never shared this story before, so this is the first time I'm sharing this. So Laurent, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. So when I was 20 years old, I actually ran away from home. I ran away from home, and it just, that's a whole like other 100 lives, you know. But I ran away from home, and the first thing I did, PK, what's going on? How you doing, man? Hey, you walked in at the right time. I'm about to tell a story I've never told before about me. So, and you just walked right in. So, at 20, when I was 20 years old, I ran away from home, right? I ran away from home, and the first thing I did was I got a haircut. That was it's a whole other life, but I got a haircut. The I've never told this story. It's funny. I'm sharing, but I got a haircut, and the second thing I did was bunch of my friends from college, because I was 20. They took me to Disneyland. Right now, don't worry, I'm gonna get to the story. So there's a picture of me, which is this is I'm so grateful for this picture. You know, there's some pictures you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I am so glad this picture was taken. Have you ever had that? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I love like pictures. Like when I go, you guys know I communicate with memes and pictures, and I just love pictures. I think they really truly do speak a lot. But you know, some of these pictures you look at, you're like, I'm so glad this was actually taken. Anyway, there's a picture of me that it's probably good. We were how many of us? I want to say a good dozen of us, probably 12, 13, 14 of us. There's a big group of us that they decided to take me because of all the stuff that I had gone through to take me to Disneyland. So there's a picture, there's actually two pictures. There's a picture of me sitting down, and this is when I'm like working out, you know, I'm 20 years old, I'm working out. This is 30 years ago. Holy smokes. 30 years ago. So I'm working out, I'm buffed, I'm, you know, all this stuff. So I can eat like a, you know, like a champ. So there's a picture of me. I'm sitting in the cafeteria outside, right, with all my friends. We're all sitting, we're all eating. And then there's another picture of me sitting there. I'm still eating and there's nobody around me. Like at one point they were all done eating and they all left and I didn't even notice it. Like they all like left, like spread out, and then they took a picture of me. I'm still eating, and then I have those pictures, right? So the crowd kind of just went away. Funny, weird story. Now let me bring it to today, the topic. So I was talking to my cousin, and we're talking and back and forth, and something she said, I really it got me, right? It really got me, and I really like this. She said that she is. I'm trying to paraphrase so I don't give everything away. That she's getting into more meditation and personal development and reading books and really asking what the message here is, and she's dealing with some kind of an illness at the same time, so all this stuff is going on, right? And and I asked, well, what's going on with with your husband, right? I was gonna say something else, but that's funny. It wouldn't make any sense to my American audience. So what's going on with him? And he's there and so supportive as much as he can be. But then one thing she said, it kind of hit me, right? She said, I'm doing this to heal me. And I really hope that I'm doing this to heal me. And I'm just not concerned about anything else or anybody else. If it's supposed to line up, if we're supposed to grow together, then we grow together. I'm really paraphrasing it a little bit here, but because I don't want to give the thing away, but I'm growing and that was so brilliant because I remember Jim Rohn talked about this, said, you know what, in a relationship, it's not a 50-50 or 75-25 or this or that. It's not that. A relationship is always 100 to 100. And why is that? David, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing, my man? So I shared this story. I don't know how long you've been here, but I shared a personal story I've never shared with anybody like ever before. So maybe you circle back, check it out. But it's a good point I'm about to drop here. So Jim Rohn, you used to say, I work on me for us. Not that you should work on you for me. That's selfish, right? So you do all the working on you because of me, for me. That's selfish. Jim Rohn used to say, I work on me for us. And it reminded me of this when I was having this conversation with my cousin today, when she said, you know what, I'm working on me and I'm working to grow spiritually, personally, all this stuff. And if they're gonna keep up and they're gonna grow with me, then they do. If they don't, they don't. Now, again, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't want to give the whole shebang away, if you would. But what's interesting is this. It's not that you are getting rid of the crowd. See, the crowd is getting rid of themselves if they need to. Just like my story with when I was sitting with my friends at the cafeteria eating and all of a sudden they're not there the crowd can just get rid of themselves because of what you're going through, you know. And those who need to stick around, they stick around, they grow with you, right? Because what's going to happen, and we talked about this before, the way you cook a lobster, and this is a whole other live, I've done this before, the way you cook a lobster is not if you put just the one in a boiling pot, even with the lid on, it'll climb right out. But if you put two in there, as soon as one starts to crawl out, the other one pulls it down. And that's how they cook a lobster. They don't do it just by one because it'll just crawl right out. The reason for that is because when the first one is trying to leave that crowd, that environment, because the other ones don't think they can, they don't let you leave, but they pull you down, right, to keep you there. Same thing happens in a crowd that you may be in, right? You may be trying to grow, you may be working on yourself, you may be doing all this personal development, now you're reading books and you're listening to podcasts instead of listening to music and, I don't know, the news or what have you, right? Instead of all that, you're reading a book, you're listening to a podcast, you're waking up with, gratitude. And if those people in your life or around you, this could be a spouse, it could be significant others, it could be a friend, this could be a best friend, this could be a foe, this could be a coworker, this could be anybody, right? What's going to happen is that automatically they're going to kind of just spread out and walk themselves out. The crowd is going to disappear by themselves. It's nothing that you have done or you have said. It's just a natural outgrowth. We've talked about this before, where you leave this crowd, but now you're entering a whole new crowd, right? So I thought that's really interesting because it kind of goes together. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration. Like I said, you work on you for us, for you and other people, not just for one specific person, because that would be selfish, right? Even if you do it just for you, still is selfish because you gotta spread it, right? So hopefully with that, you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. Some of you send me the sweetest messages. I am so humbled. I truly mean that. I am truly humbled. Some of you send me some private chats and watch the lives, and the messages speak to you. Some of you even apply these principles and give me some of your thoughts. So I just really appreciate that. I can't say that enough. So that's like much love. So I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments below. Let this feed grow. And if you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do. Spread the love. Tag a couple people. You feel me? Do what you gotta do. And I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.